So I was in Australia probably in 2004. So while I was going to the school, I'm allowed to do a part-time job. So I was just looking for a job. So I was filled into the hospitality industry at that point. So that's how I got into the hospitality industry. I used to work at the nightclubs because of my personality, so I've been given me a job as a security guard at the nightclub. So my job is to make sure the patrons were safe and secure on the premises. So I was working on the door most of the time. Make sure that all the patrons were not intoxicated, um, and make sure that no underages were inside the premises. Make sure the place is safe and secured, and protect the hazards, and communicating with the patrons, and if they need anything. The beauty of the hospitality industry is there is no limit, and the hospitality industry, a lot of people who were students and who were doing a part-time jobs, and whoever was working um, on um, on extra money basis. So it's a good potential to get more money. So the most there are different ways of earning the money. So probably there's always a lot of money in the hospitality industry. So people will earn in the form of tips or in the wages or some form. There's always money in the hospitality industry. Security, it's a different aspects from United States way of payout and the Australian, I used to get paid around pretty good, so probably on $35 an hour. Sometimes I even make more. And the waitress is a different story, but the security guards will get paid more well in Australia. Yeah, it varies from country to country and the state to state perspective. But in Australia, when we have to become an licensed security guard, you need to go for a course, security course, and you have to pass the course. And the state will look back into your background check and make sure if you don't have any violations under your name. So probably they will issue a license. But it might be different in the United States, but I would say that it would be on the same path. So probably they might go through a background check. I'm not pretty sure whether they have to do a security course or not, but it varies from state to state. As I said, right, in the United States, it's vary from state to state. Oh, of course, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good money. So at the beginning of the industry, probably you may not earn that much of money. So it's like any other kind of a job. So first 1 or 2 years, you need to get your experience. Once you get your experience, once you know what you're doing, so probably you get more hours. Whereas the wages would be the same from the beginner and experienced person, but it vary from number of hours they work. So the more experienced person will always get a standard venues, and they have standard hours. So that's where they make money on. And the cost of living perspective, it will cover most of your bills. So you could able to have the pretty decent life working in the hospitality industry. When I started up, it is the same wage, but I never used to got many hours. So I used to do a part-time, like 5 or 6 hours, where I'm entitled to work for certain hours. But after, once I got an experience, the hours started coming in, and my pay ranges started increased up. So probably the more hours that you work, the more money that you earn. So how constant, how reliable you are, on the phone calls. So probably if you keep on answering the phone calls, if you always support your boss, so he always look after you. So it really depends. You have to build up a trust. So once you build up with your trust with your venue management and your employer, so the hours will come. The first lot of people will get confused with that, but no nightclubs wants their security guards to be aggressive, physically handle or tackle their customers or the clients. So it's not acceptable. So we will try to avoid the situations like moving them outside the venue, the premises, in a decent, appropriate manner. If things didn't work out, so we will escort them with the backup. So that's how we do the things, and try. We are not supposed to be aggressive towards the patrons. The patrons will come in different sizes. So probably if the person is bigger than me, he's too intoxicated. He could not able to hardly walk. So if I'm escorting him outside, so he may trip down. So he might get a little bit of injury, but not major sort of things that we run into. If the situation is getting out of hand, so we will have the enough security force inside the premises. So we will call for a backup, and people will come in and try to escort them outside. If the things were getting out of control, then we will apply the law enforcement. A couple of things which I hate. Number one, long hours standing on your feet all night, and especially on the weekends. So everyone is partying and you will be working and standing in front of the door and taking care of the patrons. And the second thing is, um, you have to have a lot of patience dealing with your patrons because you're talking to a drunk person, an intoxicated person, and even though you told them an answer, you will get the same question 1,000 times. And so that will test your patience and frustration. They don't listen. So probably that might be the second one. I think that a lot of people does that. Not only me, but a lot of people do it because the reason is it's a beauty. So the hospitality industry is the biggest industry on the planet. So especially in the United States, and where you can go if you have experience at the bar, so you could be able to get job anywhere in the United States. So you could able to travel and work. And I know the people. I haven't done it in a person because I have to go to school, and my priorities are different. But I've seen the people, some of my colleagues who has done a lot of traveling and working over there, and especially one of my best friends. So he used to be a bouncer with me. So he left his job and he went to UK for 3 years, and he worked there in the nightclubs for a couple of years, and he came back. So it's good potential. So you could able to get the job no matter where you go on the planet. So it's the same job principles. It's exactly. It's a universal skill. It's a universal skill. It might be different rules may be followed, but eventually it's the similar.